Do seed snails work? A few weeks ago I made a video that talked about seed snails, and I evaluated this as a growing method for seedlings. I did this by reviewing over a dozen different videos that showed me how to make seed snails, and I evaluated the information they provided, but I hadn't actually tested them. So this is a follow-up video to that one, where I actually grew my own snails and evaluated the result. Now this looks like a pretty good healthy seed snail, but is it really a good idea to do this? Here's how I made my seed snails and how I'm going to do the comparison. Now it's important that you look at my initial video because it points out some important things about seed snails, and I'll put a link to that at the end of this video and also try to put a link in the description. I made one seed snail the same size as the pots we're going to use. Now I'm going to make another one. This is my standard potting mix. It's ProMix with about 20% extra perlite put in. Makes it drain a little bit better, and the plant roots get a little more air that way. It's fairly moist so that the soil sticks together. You'll see that as I roll it up, the soil wants to fall out the bottom because there's nothing really holding it in place. Now a lot of the soil has fallen out, so we'll push it back in here. And then we'll add some extra on top. I find it hard to believe that anyone thinks this is a great way to grow seeds. It's so messy. All right, we've got 2 seed rolls ready to go. Now we're going to compare these to a more traditional way of growing seeds. Now my potting mix is usually not this wet. I put extra water in it just to help the soil stick together to make the seed rolls. But because I'm doing a side-by-side experiment here, I want to use these pots exactly the same way as my seed snails as much as possible. So they're going to get exactly the same soil. It's fairly loose, so I like to pack it down. Not nearly as messy and a lot faster. My third set of tests is to plant the seeds directly into single pots. I don't need a large pot like this to do that, so I'm going to use my traditional pots. Now I normally use recycled pots, and some of these are recycled, but someone was throwing these out and gave me a whole box full of these, so I'm starting to use these square pots. All right, it's time to plant some seeds. For my testing, I've decided to use some pea seeds and some radish seeds. The peas are quite large, and they're going to grow large seedlings. So that'll be a good test for these various types of pots. Radish seeds are much smaller and they're going to produce quite small plants and they're going to grow a little slower. So we've got a good range of seedling size here for testing. I put the seeds in my baggies with a bit of wet paper towel just to soak them. So they've been in here for 24 hours. You can see on the peas that the radicals are starting to develop and both sets of seeds have swollen, so they've absorbed the moisture. Now it's time to plant them. We'll start with the pea seeds. What I'm going to do is put 10 seeds in the snail roll in the pot. So both of these will have 10 seeds and we'll compare how well they do in these two pots. Remember, these are approximately the same size and have the same amount of soil. Then I'll take individual pea seeds and put them into these pots. The purpose of these is to show you what a full-size seedling looks like. And we're going to compare growing in single pots to a community pot to a seed roll. We're finished planting. I'm going to label them, water them in a little bit, and then put them under lights. I'll do the same with another set of pots for the radish seeds. Once I planted the seeds, I took all of the pots and put them into this tray, which is located under one of my better LED lights. In this location, the plants are all getting about the same amount of light. Whenever they got dry, I gave them some water, and I used overhead watering for all of these. Now let's have a look at the results of this test. Here's a seed snail with pea seeds in them. You can see they're growing really well. They germinated fairly well. They seem healthy. Roots are growing out of the bottom. This looks like really healthy plants, and it is growing healthy seedlings. Here's the pot where I put 10 seeds in the same pot. They're also growing well. They also look healthy. In fact, if we do a comparison between these two methods, I really can't see a lot of difference. The height of the plants are the same. The germination rate was the same. The size of the seedlings are the same. Both of these methods work. What about planting them in individual pots? Well, that works quite well too. The plants are the same size. Germination was the same. Everything's the same. When I compare these three methods, I really don't see a difference when we look at the peas. Now, the one big difference is that I can grow this now for a while in here. It's got lots of room, it's getting lots of light, and when I move it, it's not going to have root disturbance. On the other hand, in this case, these plants are getting quite crowded. They're shading each other. They're going to start slowing down in their growth. The same with this. In both cases, these seeds are ready to come out of here and plant them up into individual pots, or maybe plant them outside. What about the radish seeds? How did they do? Well, here's 10 seeds in a single pot, and here's 10 seeds in a radish. Not all the seeds germinated, but the number germinating in both cases is about the same. They're growing about the same. They're all making secondary leaves, and you can see the shoots for the next set of leaves coming. These actually look very similar too. And when we compare that to individual pots, they look about the same too. The bottom line is that all these methods work, and they're producing about the same quality of seedling. Germination was the same, growth is the same. It really comes down to figuring out which of these methods is easier to use. Which of these two would you use? The people that like the seed snail tell me that when I try to separate these seedlings, I'm going to do less damage to the roots. And that's a negative of using these, or so people say. So let's have a look at the truth. Let's unravel these and see which one is producing the best root system. After all, better roots result in larger plants down the line. It's time to unroll the seed snail. Now I notice there's a lot of roots coming out the bottom already. If I let the plants grow any more than this, these roots are all going to be damaged. Now the first thing I noticed is that the tops of these are all tangled. These pea seeds are making little tendrils that are holding on to each other. So here's one of the first things I learned about seed snails. They don't work for plants that have vines. Now admittedly, this system has the same problem. Anytime we grow plants close together that are vines, they're going to tangle together. For those kind of plants, it really is better to pot them up individually. But we're interested in the root system, not so much the top part. The plants come apart pretty well. Now here's 3 that are closer together, and their roots are definitely tangled up. These 3 are also quite tangled up. The plastic in the snail keeps the roots from growing together this way, but along the plastic, they're still going to intermingle. Now let's have a look at the potted ones. And quite honestly, I've done hundreds, if not a couple thousand, this way. Nice root system. The media I'm using is ProMix and it's fairly porous. Give it a little shake. The media falls off pretty nicely. You'll see very few damaged roots in here, a few small ones. Separating the roots is actually easier than trying to separate these tops. Alright, both systems were fairly easy to separate out. Now let's have a closer look at the roots and see which one has a better root system. I arbitrarily took 5 seedlings out of the pot and 5 seedlings from the snail. I took each of them and dipped them in water to try and knock off most of the soil so that we could easily see the roots. The 5 on the left is one group of plants and the 5 on the right is the other group of plants. When you're trying to evaluate these kind of growths, it's important to have a control. And so one of the controls I have here is that you don't know whether the left side or the right side are the snails. So the question you have to ask yourself now is one set of these a lot better than the other set? Now I notice that the ones on the left here are a bit longer. So the longest root is maybe a little deeper. I don't know how significant that is. The roots themselves look pretty good. There is one plant here that doesn't have much of a root system, and the leaves above ground are also not nearly as large as its neighbors. So this is kind of the runt in the family. If we look at these over here, they also have good root systems. This one might actually be the largest root system out of all of these. But then we have one here that's quite a bit smaller. These 2 look pretty good. Here's another pretty good root system. And this one are both good looking root systems. Can you tell which is better, the left side or the right side? I don't think there's a lot of difference here. Remember, every seedling is going to grow slightly differently. But if I look at these, they look pretty much the same. I'm pretty confident that I could take any one of these, pot them up, and it will grow into a good sized plant. I don't see one or other of these techniques as being superior. Now perhaps there's a slight advantage to the ones on the right, and that turns out to be the seed snail. So what is my conclusion about this test? I compared 3 methods: the snail, the pot with only 1 seedling, and a pot with multiple seedlings. They all grew well. Both of these options produce multiple plants in a small space. One of the big arguments for seed snails is that they take up little space. But in fact, when we compare them to an equally grown set of seeds in one pot, both of these take up exactly the same space. Space saving is not an advantage here. Now, compared to growing one seed in a pot, this certainly saves space. But at some point, you have to take these out of here. And if you have to pot them up, you end up with something like this, in which case you need the space anyways. You've only saved yourself some space in the short term, not in the long term. If you don't have to take these out of the snail and repot them, say you can take them directly out in the garden, well, then this method works just as well as this one. But there are a lot of negatives to this method, and I reviewed those in my other video, and I'll put a link to that coming up shortly. The bottom line, if I want to grow really good seedlings and do minimum root damage, I'm going to use this method. One seed, one plant per pot. And that's actually the method I use for most things, particularly vegetables. Now, if I'm growing perennials, and they're going to stay in this pot for several months because perennials tend to grow much slower, now I have a choice between these two methods, and I would always pick this method. The plants in this pot are just as good as in a snail, but they're a whole lot less work, and they're faster to put together. I see very little benefit to seed snails. Thank you very much for your support. If you'd like to connect directly with me, the best way is through my Facebook group, Garden Fundamentals. We'll answer all of your questions there. I also have a blog called Garden Myths, where I've debunked over 2,000 different myths. I'll put links to all of these in the description below. Happy gardening.